That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther.
Up for sound bites. This is awesome.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Anti-Religious Scripture Study with me, Karen B, and of course, Just Jack.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Um, Not Happy New Year.
Happy calendar flip, whatever you want to call. I don't know.
Happy happy government take. Uh, I had somebody say, "Well, can you say like Happy Fiscal New Year?" And I'm like, "No, money doesn't govern my calendar."
Yeah.
Anyway, uh, just Jack's disclaimer. To the religious, if you believe it's wrong to study the scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scripture shouldn't be studied at all, then this stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe there's truth in scripture that may have been changed or hidden by religion, if you live according to scripture and like to dig in and discover more, then this stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language using concordances or dictionaries for words as well as context from a non-religious perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or government. We will be discussing the importance of origins and show how religions contradict the scriptures. I had to throw that in there because I'm dealing with the religious government today. Yes, new moon beginnings. Yes, that is the 11th month, so we can applaud that, I guess. Which means in a couple months we're going to be looking for the signs of spring, which would be the barley harvest in the that land, as well as migratory patterns, and I can pretty much tell when spring is around here as well, and the celestial objects as well. So that's coming up in a couple months. Alrighty. So just to catch people up if they haven't been watching, Deuteronomy is a book where basically Moshe is standing on a mountain giving his final speech before they cross over the Yarden. He will pass away before he crosses over, so this is like he's trying to think of everything that he needs to say to Israel before they cross over, and sometimes it gets off the subject, back on the subject, just like happens in real life when you're having a discussion. But let's see, last week we did, oh yes, the blessings and curses of Deuteronomy 28. And in churchianity, they will tell you, these are the blessings that shall come upon you and overtake you, but they won't read the if you obey the voice of Jehovah your Elohim, right? And or they may read it, but they might just describe it as by doing what the New Testament says or something like that, but then they'll read blessed are, blessed are, blessed are, but not the if, right? There's always a condition. It's a how can I say it? It's a cause and effect relationship of basically life. If this, then that. But a lot of people want the payment or the consequence without the effort, and or they want to be able to do the thing without having the consequences. In the case with the curses, right? I should be able to do what I want, and it's liberal thinking. I should be able to do what I want without any consequences. Yeah, my lifestyle, my choice. But you should believe my lifestyle and live by my lifestyle, and that's not going to fly, because we know there is a cause and effect relationship of living life then effect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That was not political. That's just common sense. Sorry. All right, verse 1 whenever you're ready.
All right. These are the words of the covenant which Jehovah commanded Moshe to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb.
Okay, and a covenant, of course, is a contract. This is a binding thing between Yah and Moshe. All right.
And Moshe called all Yisrael and said to them, You yourselves saw all that Jehovah did before your eyes in the land of Mitzrayim to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land.
Okay.
Your eyes saw the great trials, the signs, and those great wonders.
Right. Just to let people know, if they're wondering why there's a different address up here to the right, in some prints of the scriptures, mainly Jewish publications, going from the original Hebrew to their interpretation. They're one verse off in this chapter. Just that's what that's for. All right, verse 4.
But Yehovah has not given you a heart to know and eyes to see and ears to hear till this day. And I have led you.
Right. So
Oh, go
so
ahead.
what he's talking about there is, when they were taken out of Mitzrayim, they didn't just like all of a sudden know how to live. There's a bunch of people that think that, the commandments were given to them because it's only for them. Like they're the only ones that have to follow these rules because they didn't know how to live. Well, I would argue that definitely today's generation definitely doesn't know how to live. So, all right, verse 5.
And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your garments have not worn out on you, and your sandals have not worn out on your feet.
This is the second mention of this, and it is a miraculous thing to be able to walk around for 40 years and your clothes don't wear out.
Yeah.
There is some. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had a frog in my throat. There is a speculation. I don't necessarily subscribe to it, but it's possible because it's already miraculous that the shoes grew with the feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you came out as a child, then your shoes would have to grow with your feet.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason that the sandals on the feet is worth mentioning is because it says everywhere that your feet walk will be your inheritance or something like that to that effect. Forgive me for the bad quote, but basically there are in the Valley of Sinai, where the real Sinai, which is in Arabia, not Egypt, there are giant flat stones with sandal outlines carved into the stone, and then they wrote the same word that we would use for palm is the sole of your foot, sole, right? So it would show the sandal and it had the word sole on it, and that shows that was actually, markers to signify the verses that says, these are your landmarks, basically. All right, 6.
You ate no bread and drank no wine, nor strong drink, so that you might know that I am Yehovah your Elohim.
Not a lot of grapes in the desert. Just saying, though.
Yeah. And when you came to this place, Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, came out against us to battle, and we struck them.
Okay.
And took their land and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites and to the Gadites and to half the tribe of Manasseh.
There you go.
Therefore you shall guard the words of this covenant and do them so that you prosper in all that you do.
Okay. Do them so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cause and effect. If you do this, then that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All of you are standing today before Yehovah your Elohim, your leaders, your tribes, your elders, and your officers, all the men of Israel.
Okay.
Your little ones, your wives, and your sojourner who is in the midst of your camp, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water, so that you should enter into covenant with Yehovah your Elohim and into his oath, which Yehovah your Elohim makes with you today.
All right, and this is not oath. There's an oath that is linked to the word that Shabbat comes from, or 7 comes from, or weeks comes from. It's not that one. This oath is a strong lead, as in like L, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's his L. So if it's his L, does that mean his deity? No. This is a strong lead. It's something that is coming to you strongly. So there is different definitions of the Aleph Lamed, and this is one of them, and it's worth pointing out for those who think that every time you see Aleph Lamed, it means deity. Not so. All right, 13.
in order to establish you today as a people for himself, and he himself be your Elohim, as he has spoken to you, and as he has sworn to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov.
And establish, excuse me, establish means to rise up, um, in a vengeance. So,
And not with you alone I am making this covenant and this oath, but with him who stands here with us today before Yehovah our Elohim, as well as with him who is not here with us today.
oh my gosh, if these verses do not kill the special boy belief system, okay, I'm not making this covenant just with you guys, okay, but the other people standing with you, and the people who's not even with you today. That is a special boy deal breaker right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 16.
For you know how we dwelt in the land of Mitzrayim, and how we passed through the nations which you passed through. And you saw their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were with them. Lest there should be among you a man or woman or clan or tribe, whose heart turns away from Yehovah our Elohim, to go and serve the mighty ones of these nations, lest there should be among you a root bearing bitterness or wormwood.
The only word you missed there was lest your heart turns away today. That's all.
Lest
You
your
missed
heart
the word
turns
today.
away. Oh, today. Oh, oops.
Yep, that's okay. Root bearing. Hold on, I need to check this here. Okay, so this is a modern, this is a typical correlation between people and trees. There's that symbology all throughout the scriptures. And in here, they're talking about a rooting, right, coming in to the nation, right? So this is why we can't have you mingling with other nations and worshiping other deities and all that other stuff, because it once it gets in, it gets rooted in, and it's hard to get out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to go further to talk about those who sprout up out of the existing trees or roots, and then and then it'll talk about him uprooting them here pretty shortly. All right, 19.
And it shall be, when he hears the words of this curse, that he should bless himself in his heart, saying, I have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, in order to add drunkenness to thirst.
Okay, so what this is saying is exactly what I was talking about the churches do. The blessings are for me, the curses are not, regardless of my stubborn lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
This happens way too much, and it's funny that Yah knew that people are going to be like this. Oh, I'm the special boy. I get all these special blessings, and nothing bad's going to happen to me. No, you're going to hear the words of the curse and bless yourself in your heart, but it's not so. All right, 20.
Yehovah would not forgive him, but rather the displeasure of Yehovah and his jealousy shall burn against that man, and every curse that is written in this book shall settle on him, and Yehovah shall blot out his name from under the heavens.
And again, this goes against the rhetoric of this, book of life that was revealed in the New Testament. No, the book of life has been talked about many times throughout the scriptures, including right here.
Mm-hmm.
Your name will be blotted out from under the heavens. Blotted out means to, like, literally back in the day when you did scrolls and you used, oils and stuff to do ink, you would literally saturate it and blot something out of a book.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this is talking about. It'll be not that you'll be cut off, but as if you've never been. And this also goes along with, okay, this is 29, just for 29, 20. Numbers 15. This is the only unforgivable sin. It says that, let's see, where is it? Ignorance will be forgiven, Okay, if any individual, that's soul, sin through ignorance, then he shall bring the goat of the first year for a sin offering. The priest shall make atonement for the soul that sinneth arrogantly, sorry, ignorantly, sorry, that sinneth ignorantly when he sinneth by ignorance before Jehovah, to make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. You have one law for him that sinneth through ignorance, both for him who is native born among the children of Israel, and for the strangers that sojourneth with them. There is not two Torahs, there's only one. But for the soul that doeth aught presumptuously, means fist up in arrogance, like, I'm going to do what I want. I don't care what you say, um, whether he is native born or a stranger, the same reproacheth, which is also translated as blasphemes Yehovah, and that soul shall be cut off from among the people. So that's the only unforgivable sin, is the blasphemy of Yehovah by being mm, super rebellious towards the creator and being like, nah, my way's better than your way. I know what I should do, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do my own thing. That's the only unforgivable sin. And that ties into this verse the same. That is the unforgivable sin. Well, I thought, Yah was about love and forgiveness. Yeah, and until it's rebellion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ignorance is forgiven, right? Or like, let's say you have a momentary lapse. That's forgiven as well. It's when you arrogantly say, like, I know what the creator wants, but I'm going to do the exact opposite because it's to my selfishness or whatever. That's unforgivable. That's spitting in the face of the creator. All right, 21.
And Jehovah shall separate him for evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the Torah.
And again, evil is dysfunction. It causes dysfunction in the nation. It causes separation between families and between nation. And yeah, it's a bad deal. Got to get that crap out. All right, 22.
And the generation to come of your children who rise up after you, and the foreigner who comes from a far land, shall say when they see the plagues of that land, and the sickness which Jehovah has sent to it.
Okay.
All its land is sulfur, salt, and burning. It is not sown, nor does it bear, nor does any grass grow there, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Savoyim, and Jehovah overthrew his displeasure and his wrath.
Okay, so we're talking about, like, Sodom and Gomorrah,
Mhm.
which is still standing today. Like, there's these squared off pillars of salt and sulfur in the middle of the desert out there. And the point is that, like, all the nations around them are going to want to come to Israel, because if they're in line with Yah's will, it'll be the most prosperous area out there. And wars are fought over this chunk of land, to this day. So, all right, 24.
And all nations shall say, why has Jehovah done this to this land? What does the heat of this great displeasure mean? And it shall be said, because they have forsaken the covenant of Jehovah Elohim of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim.
So, in other words, that's what's going to end up happening to the land if they're not in line with Yah, which is, yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So,
And they went and served other mighty ones, and bowed themselves to them, mighty ones that they did not know, and that he had not given to them.
and all include in there the deity of God, aka money, finances, wealth, became a deity above the creator. All right, 27.
Therefore the displeasure of Jehovah burned against this land, to bring on it every curse that is written in this book.
Okay.
And Jehovah uprooted them from their land in displeasure, and in wrath, and in great rage, and cast them into another land, as it is today.
Okay. So when it says as it is to this day, I think this was added by Ezra and Nehemiah when they rewrote the Torah, because they couldn't have been uprooted from the land if they haven't gotten to the land yet. right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they came back from Babylon, after they had all been scattered, this is what they would write. It's just like when they talked about when they came out of Egypt and it was in the region that is called by, oh my gosh, what is it? Pharaoh. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it right now. In other words, the Pharaoh that they put in all the movies about when they came out, Ramses,
Mm.
where it says that they came out of the town now called Ramses, right? It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't called Ramses when Moshe left. But when the Torah was recorded later by Ezra and Nehemiah because they had forgotten the language from being cast out, of course they would say, as it is to this day, as it is today, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 29.
The secret matters belong to Yehovah our Elohim, but what is revealed belongs to us and to our children forever, to do all the words of this Torah.
Right. And this is the continuance of the hidden. Secret matters is, you know, that's why it's italicized. They added matters. And then there's the revealed, right? So it's the hidden and the revealed. All right. So as you connect with Yah and do his will, then things will be revealed to you. And I've had this experience myself where stuff that wasn't even taught to me, I figured out, and then I looked in the scriptures and there it was. So interesting stuff. All right. Shout out to Artist Seer, Tom Budis, Earth First Space Later, Bill Henry, Thomas Morgan, Matrix Media, Vincent, Azing 717. What's up, Cammy? Luke Williams. Da, 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 da. He was blocked, so I probably shouldn't shout him out.
Mm-mm.
Joseph Osborne, TC Zamman, Truman Burbank, Rico. What's up, Rico? Thomas Morgan. And that seems to be it. I definitely don't know what the Saturn symbol and the one or up symbol. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about there. Anyway,
Well,
um oh, Saturn's Day.
yeah.
Boo. Boo. Hijacking the day of rest to the day of worshiping a light in the sky. No, I'm not good with that. Sorry. Anyway, let's see. Happy New Moon Beginnings. We saw that there. Happy New Year. Everything is cold and dead. Yep, makes no sense. Agreed. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Shalom from Traverse City. I saw some places are 20 degrees right now. We've had some cold snaps here. Not very comfortable.
Yeah, we might be getting
Truman
snow.
Burbank. Go ahead.
We might be getting snow.
Yep, that's their claim. Truman Burbank said Jabal Makia and Jabal El-Oz range in western Saudi Arabia is the real Mount Sinai. I'm inclined to agree. I'm not familiar specifically of the he's probably right. I know I remember Jabal El-Oz and I remember Saudi Arabia, so he's probably correct. He's probably done that investigation, but I encourage you to watch the um oh my gosh, the series by Patterns of Evidence. Yeah, the Patterns of Evidence series, starting with Exodus and the Moses conflict and the search for the real Mount Sinai. Very interesting and educational stuff. You can see how they changed the timeline. You can see the stuff that they're hiding in archaeology, all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, bless. It had nothing to do with that. This world doesn't know who their enemy is, but that's fine. Much love. Okay. We had a little snow in New York by Shifty Eyes Shady. All right. Snow is pretty, but it's a pain in the butt.
I know.
It is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But, you know, flurries are cool, but yeah, when it starts getting thick and then mixing with around here, mixing with the clay, and it turns into this horrible snot solution. Oh, it's horrible. But anyway.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Anti-Religious Scripture Study, and we hope you have a wonderful, restful day, and Shabbat Shalom.
And the earth is still flat.
And the earth is definitely still flat.
Shabbat Shalom.